So there are a lot of Hazbin Hotel song tier lists, but they're all either based on personal opinion or just rage baiting. All these musicals rhyme, and since liking how something sounds is very subjective, we're not going to rank how good the actual song is. Instead, today we're making a tier list based on objective facts and how these musicals help develop the story and their importance in a storytelling manner. Since there are so few episodes and so many things that need to happen, storytelling is a big focus on the songwriter's mind.
All you gotta do is trust us. Just us. Trust us.
Alright, so Hazbin guaranteed / trust us. It reminds us who the Vees are and what their motivations are. But it doesn't really have any important storytelling plot lines. It doesn't really develop the story, just develops the characters. So it's a solid A tier.
Once we get up there, up to the promised land.
Alright, so once we get up there, it develops what we already know about their characters and motives. And also, Vox explains his entire plan before the musical begins. However, before the musical, Val and Velvet were not really excited for or agree with the plan, but by the end, that changes. So this is a tough call, but even though there is a progression of Val and Velvet being on board with the plan, you wouldn't really miss any important details if you didn't watch it. So it has to be a B tier. Honestly, it fascinates me how this song is so terrible no matter how you measure it. The only significance this song has is that it shows that Pensius tried to go back to hell and failed. But the same message is repeated later on in the episode, so you really aren't missing anything if you skip it!
One seeks an answer that one cannot grant.
So Sarah's confession shines light on Sarah's thoughts and feelings, but it doesn't really do much for the story. But it sounds really cool.
Give me a sign, what's your guidance? Please show me the way. You speak of choices made by other voices.
But since Sarah's feeling of regret and fear is repeated throughout a lot of the episodes, this song literally adds nothing to the plot of the show. So I'll have to put it in C tier.
Storms coming, I can see the clouds. No running's gonna save you now, and hard rain is gonna fall down like gravity.
Gravity is one of the best songs. It shines light on Lute's true intentions and motivations, but it only develops what we already know about it. It barely adds any new information about Lute and her motivations. So if you skip it, you really wouldn't miss anything. B tier. Except it's a fucking awesome song! A tier.
Another exciting Sin City night. The seal is lost in your arse away.
Piss just develops how Pensius and Cherry feel about each other. Story-wise, it's very insignificant since we already know they love each other, so it's just a solid C tier.
We'll speed run from here to redemption.
I personally hate Speedrun to Redemption, but I feel like it's kind of important for the plot. It shows that Charlie really has no idea how redemption works, and how stressed she is over it. Also, there are some subtle hints on how Vox is trying to get to her and lower her self-esteem. But even though I feel like it deserves to be higher in ratings, if you skip it, you won't really miss anything important in the story, so B tier I guess.
Don't you forget. I won't forget.
Even though we learn Alistair's entire backstory just before this, the song does an amazing job at showing us their dynamic, of how much Rosie belittles him, and how pissed Alistair is at Rosie, but is powerless to do anything about it. Even though I'd love to put it in S tier, every significant plotline that is hinted at here is stated directly later on, such as Alistair's plan to break free. So even though it pains me, this has to be an A tier. Alright, so I love Nifty and Clean It Up, especially the Japanese bit, but it really adds nothing. Like, literally nothing. It just sounds good. So, C tier.
You're in my house with my rules and my room with my tools.
This one is kind of hard to decide since it develops the power dynamic between Alistair and Vox. Also, how Alistair is actually plotting something, and the subtle foreshadowing about Act 3. So I guess it's kind of important for the plot. A tier, I guess.
It's so much fun to be bad with us. So bad with us.
I love this song. It shows the significance of Alistair being captured by Vox, since he's such a powerful overlord and respected by everyone. And also how Vox used this news to get everyone on his team. And with the overlords having such little screen time, without this song, you genuinely wouldn't know why they are all suddenly on Vox's team. With the little time it has, it does a great job at showing how Vox persuaded everyone to be on his team. Except for Zestral and Carmilla, of course. This one truly deserves the S tier. It sounds awesome and it's super important to the plot.
If you're not fucking stupid, then you've only got one choice. Me, Vox Populi, the people's
Alright, can I just say, King of Hell and Vox Populi should have been two different songs. Alright, now this one is kind of weird because it is kind of significant, but because of the plot points that were established outside of it. Like how Lucifer can't hurt sinners and why Vox isn't afraid of him. And also how Vox used those important plot lines to put on a show to get people on his side. I guess it is very important, so A tier.
I'm your omega! I'm the flood! I am the nightmare you made when you spilled our blood! So cower and hide, find a rope you can swing from. Go say your goodbyes to your lives, to your kingdom!
Vox Day is really epic and I love it. It shows us how Vox turns sinners against angels, how he's trying to replace Lucifer as the king of hell, how he mimics Sarah, again, reinforces his entire theme of the season. But the final nail in the coffin is the declaration of holy war, since it genuinely moves the plot forward. Even though we could figure out there is a war if we skip this, we would never know how it happened. So again, I couldn't be happier with this choice. S tier.
Then another, and another, and another, and another, and another.
Love in a Bottle shows how Husk is slipping back to his old life of drinking and gambling, and how it starts to ruin him again. I'm thinking B tier is the best choice for this.
You're living for the rush, for that royal flush, but you take what you can get.
In terms of story significance, Losing Streak is really unimportant. It just sounds good. It hints at the attraction between Husk and Angel, but that's about it. C tier.
We already found love in hell. The rest is easy, baby.
Easy is probably my favorite song of the season. Even though it sounds amazing, it really doesn't add anything except Vaggie being supportive of Charlie. And since Vaggie and Charlie making up doesn't take place during the musical, I can't really give it a high rating, even though it pains me. Best I can do is B tier. Take it or leave it.
The world's yours, don't waste it. Go make the stars align to shine brighter, brighter than the heavens in the skies above.
Brighter explains Vox's character and shows his motives, how he climbed the ladder and formed his cult, how he's obsessed with people's perception of him and his image. And it sounds amazing. So it develops the character, and it sounds amazing. What else could you want? You can trust me with your tier lists. A tier.
Live again tomorrow.
I don't really like Live to Live, but it shows how Pinchas helped Sarah to be sure of her decisions. So I guess it is pretty significant. In terms of character development, since Sarah goes from unsure to certain, I really can't give it anything below the S tier, since you would be genuinely lost to how Sarah came to make the decision that she did.
When I think about the future, I see a better place where everyone can coexist safely.
This is just a recap song, so it's pretty important in showing us how everyone is feeling about the events that are going to happen in the finale. It shines some extra light on everyone and I appreciate that. It can't really go below the A tier.
Hear my hope.
Here My Hope is pretty similar to When I Think About the Future, except it really pushes the plot further. With the overlords joining in, Val and Velvet being regretful, Abel overcoming his anxiety and taking charge, becoming more like his dad, Lute seeking out war and almost destroying half of hell, and killing Vaggie out of rage and grief, Alastor forcing Rosie to fix his staff and potentially striking a new deal with her, also revealing more about Alastor's true intentions. This is probably the most significant musical in the entire season. Top of the S tier. Alright, this is my take. I hope you like this. See ya.